Hey, good morning. Just woke up. There's my coffee and my water. It's a beautiful day. Uh, Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Anyway, this is a video response to my friend Moses. Uh, you asked what are some of the benefits I've gained since language learning. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to start out with an explanation of why I began learning Japanese in the first place. You may laugh at me, but the reason I wanted to learn Japanese was because I wanted to be able to play Pokemon Gold and Silver when it came out. Because there was no translations of it yet, and the only translations were partial, and it looked like gibberish. And I was like, you know what? I think it's actually easier to understand the Japanese rather than downloading this English patch that makes everything into gibberish. And then from there, I pretty much just played the game without reading it, but it inspired me to learn, it's more of a chain of effect rather than any real reward. It's just like, I did this and then this happened. Like, um, yeah, some of the good things about my inner being, I don't know if it's part of just growing up or just a combination thereof, but I feel like I'm more connected with the world. Like, I feel like I actually know, or at least beginning to know, what it's really all about. And, you know, it's really hard to say because a lot of people, walk around and I just pretty much just judge them without even knowing them. It's like, I just think that but I mean, just like listening to how they talk and how they write, if they write, it just doesn't seem like they really get it. And especially hearing people, who have really strong political views or stuff like that, it seems like they just have this really strong opinion, and they don't really think about, most people just live in this little bubble. I think, just around California, I know so many people that every time they talk about the news, it's or anything like that, they always mention only things they saw on local TV or on CNN or BBC. I mean, BBC at least is in Europe, so that's a little different. But I mean, it's just like, how can you even begin to have an opinion about the world when you only see it from this little teeny bubble? It's just like, I think that there's too much required reading, and that's, you can only do so much. So it's like, there's a drawing I made the other day. You can check it on my DeviantArt. Just search Areckx. It's my main internet handle is Areckx. It's like my Japanese name Areckx, so it's like Areckx. So it's like, anyway. Another benefit, rewards of language learning. Well, I mean, if you go by my original goal, then I guess the benefit is that I can get Japanese stuff before it's translated. But the thing is like, now that I've actually like gone the distance, kind of, and still going, it's like I'm not really. I'm not really into video games and anime anymore. It's just like, well, okay. And so now, now I can actually have a firm grasp on Asian media. I mean, in the very least, the cultures are a little bit similar between most Asian cultures. From people I've met anyway, and just my observations. Um, so I can watch pretty much anything on Asian TV and just kind of get it. uh, I'm definitely a better language learner. I've pretty much, through all the struggle of Japanese, I've learned that you need to just let yourself go and just not try to understand everything, because until you understand nothing, you will never understand anything. uh, I don't know what that means, but well, I do, but I don't know if you'll know what I mean by what I said. um, that's kind of my problem, is I have a expression problem. I don't feel like what I actually want to get through is expressed. And so, thus the madness continues. You know, the madness. But, anyway, benefits. I don't know, I just do it because I enjoy it, and because I know that if I want to pursue a career in translation and interpretation and anything related to that, then I'm going to need to know the languages. It's kind of a no-brainer there. Uh, that's definitely a goal. So anyway, sorry about the rambling video response, my friend Moses. Just hope you're having a good time raising your kids, and it's going to be interesting, uh, later on in life. You're gonna see them grow up and see them have the opportunities that you wish you had, and it's just like, I don't know, it's the eternal struggle of a parent. You can't really know. I mean, I'm not even a parent, but I know that, it's just, you always feel like you could have done something better, or you're doing it wrong. But that's part of language learning, is that if we focus too much on what we did wrong rather than what we're doing right, then you'll just get bogged down. So one thing I've learned from language learning is that you just got to keep going, because the results will come. I mean, my dad said something. He put it on his refrigerator when he wanted to lose 50 pounds, I think. And so he went out jogging every day and all that, and exercising. And so he put on his refrigerator, he put a note that said, "It takes what it takes." And then under it, he said, "You can't finish if you don't start." And that kept him going. And so, I mean, those are pretty good words of wisdom right there. I mean, he's my dad. I love my dad. I love my mom too. Love all my family, even though they kind of, not gonna get into it. Anyway, uh, they're just, most of my family, at least besides my dad was just pretty much just, when he was there, he was supportive, but he mostly wasn't there. And now he's always there. And nobody really talks to him, but I try to. I mean, he just wants to, he's retired. He doesn't want to work a big, high profile job anymore. He just wants to work at Kohl's. He just wants to work in the background and play his Facebook games. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but everyone in my family keeps on putting him down. They've always put him down, really. I mean, he used to be really into ham radio and Morse code, and he did that when he was in the Marines, and then he did it as a hobby. I mean, he spent most of his days when I was growing up, doing that after working like a 10-hour day or something. He would come home and go straight to that, and he would drink tequila. Apparently, I didn't know that at the time. I was a kid, but he would always drink in the shack. He would have it hidden so that us kids wouldn't see. And it's just he would have a big stack of newspapers. He kind of has a hoarding problem. None of us are perfect, and that's what I've learned from language learning. Is that none of us are perfect, and if we always push for perfection, we're never gonna win. It's just like someone is gonna critique you and tell you that you're wrong, or that you're you're doing it wrong or something, or that you suck. There's always going to be naysayers, and it's best just to not listen to those people. And you know, also, it's just what I was saying earlier about the if you always try to understand everything, you're gonna get so lost. It's just like, it's one thing to, you know, that's why I didn't start learning anything in Japanese until I completely took out the English aspect of it. And you know, every time I give this advice to people, they always just dismiss me and say, "Oh, that's too hard." But I mean, like, it's hard. There's no way around it. You got to do the hard work. It's and then it becomes not hard. Like, I don't know how to get it across. Uh, but some people have to do it themselves, and then they'll find out eventually. Or it's just, I wish there was a way I could, just transfer that knowledge to somebody so that they won't give up. Because there's so many people who would be successful at what they're trying to do. It's just they give up, and then they're on the edge of a breakthrough, and then they just stopped. And I think that's one of the thing I've learned, is that you just can't stop. You have to keep going, even when it doesn't look like there's going to be any anything in the near future. I read it on Katsumoto's blog once. Is that he said it's a lot like that language learning. He was talking about Japanese, but language learning is like a baked potato. Uh, halfway through, it's gonna be really. Oh, that reminds me, I need to take my potatoes out of the oven. I never did that last night. Uh, but it's a lot like a baked potato. Halfway through, it's going to be all hard, and you're going to try to taste it, and it's going to be all acidic, and it's going to be nasty. But it's going to be even worse than when you started. A raw potato would have been better than this halfway cooked potato. But if you take it out now, it's going to be crappy. But if you leave it in the whole, 40 minutes or whatever, if you leave it in the whole way to make a fully baked potato, it's going to be nice and crumbly and creamy and taste like a potato. Like, it's it's not something you can rush. It's like the bonsai tree. It takes 5 years. It takes a complete 5 years of caring for it every single day, and a lot of the time you don't even see any progress. But, part of life is that, if we live for progress, then we're always going to keep giving up before we even see it, because, it's just some things take time. And, like, I'm not the best artist, but, we all have to start somewhere. Like, you wouldn't tell by this, but this is a complete this is a complete combination of about 10 years of practice for me. I mean, like, I'm trying to get the shading down. I'm trying to get good with pens and pencils. Uh, I mean, if you look at it comparatively, this is a lot more refined than all my artwork from 10 years ago. I'm not really I don't really consider myself an artist, but it's one of those things that you need to make, that we all, at least all of us with the madness, we all strive to make sense of the world around us. And, it's just like, it's this never ending goal that we're trying to find. We're trying to express what we're trying to express, like, what we see, and we're trying to make sense of what's buzzing around in our head, or at least I am. I don't know about you guys or anybody else with the madness, whatever that is. I don't know. The madness would simply be this never-ending reach, like in that one painting. This never-ending reach, and it's just, eventually, if we reach far enough, somebody else who's reaching will will meet us, and then they'll pull us, and then we'll pull them. It's a two-way street. Actually, it's an infinite way street because there's more than one, more than two. Uh, let's see, another benefit. Um, I'm now able to read anything in English for an unlimited amount of time until I get bored. Like, I mean, not until I get bored, but until I get, like, physically tired. Like, English compared to what I've been studying all this time is it's like, it's almost like just breathing now. Like, yeah. I mean, I used to read a lot. I mean, it's not like if you study Chinese or Japanese, then you'll know English. I read a lot of English as a child. I was the kid with 10 books on my desk, and I would literally like read a couple of pages in one, set one down, read another couple of pages, because I already knew all the material, and I didn't need to. I already finished all the classwork, and then I needed something else to do to fill my time, so I just read. And, I ended up failing in high school because of sleeping and for missing school, which I later found out were diabetic issues because I was probably on an average of 400 glucose, which is four times the amount that you're normally supposed to have. And I was untreated and I wasn't making insulin in my body, so it's like, but I never had a problem learning. I would always just immediately just absorb the material and then be able to write it out on the test or do the homework and understand the concept rather than, I would be really bad at presentation, as you can tell through my videos. That's why I call it the worst Japanese lesson, but I keep that in my tags because it keeps all my videos together, and eventually someone might be bored enough and chronicle my life and my journey as a language student, as a life student. Anyway, it's just one of those things. You never know what'll happen. You'll never know who might hear your words, or just see something that you do and be inspired not to give up. It's like, what if somebody on the internet, for example, because I am a product of the internet. I started with StarCraft when I was like 9 or 10, and just like completely got absorbed in the internet. And there might be other children now who are just starting that, and there's a lot of paths that I could have taken on up till now, and I might not even be alive right now. I mean, I've seriously thought about, ending my life a couple times. And, it's just, I always push through knowing that there's going to be a new day tomorrow. There's going to be something might change. I might change. Uh, uh, I mean, if you give up, then you'll know what happens. You know what happens when you give up. You'll know that you'll just stay where you are. You'll know that you'll just, like if you really want to do something, just do it. I mean, if you want to skateboard, go skateboard. If you want to go draw, then go draw. And, if you don't end up being, the best right away, then, it's like in Spider-Man 2 at the end, Mary Jane says that, we can't just go around, we can't just being half alive. You be you, be. Anyway, sorry about the rambling. Uh, just the main thing I've learned since beginning this path as a language student is that of patience and positive thinking, cultural understanding, you know, questioning, you know, I'm looking at this from the standpoint of a Californian, and I may not see it the same way as someone from Texas or someone from Iowa or someone from Vietnam or someone from Canada or someone from Spain or someone from Wales. It's like there's so many of us, and we all have a different upbringing. We all have different paths we took, and it's really quite amazing what this thing we call life is. We're all we're all unique, but we're all the same. It's just one of those things. The madness. All right. Sorry, I broke the chain. I promised myself I was gonna make 29 videos in a 29 days, a video a day for 29 days, but I kind of just didn't really feel like I was accomplishing anything. But like I'll try again. It's like I'll uh, I'll give myself a break for a couple weeks or so and just make videos as I feel like it, like I've always done, and just see what happens. And then, you know, if I like to challenge myself, and I'm gonna try that 29-day challenge again, and maybe I'll do the cinnamon challenge. I could also do some other random things. Try to find some viewers. uh, I don't really try. I think sometimes we gotta work hard, but I think sometimes we focus our energy too hard, and some people focus too much energy in the wrong things. It's like if I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna try hard to get viewers, but I'm not gonna like go out and do something crazy. I'm not gonna just like jump off a building or something stupid like that. That's stupid. I mean, whoever has the guts to do that, that's what they want to do, but I don't want to do that. So, anyway, goodbye. Later. Bye bye.